Welcome to John S. Sports Channel. We're going to be in Championship, League One and running. And today we're going into League One. And I suppose it's officially it's week 17. Although there's only one team that is actually capable of getting to 17 games this weekend. We've just had our live stream to work out how we think the different teams are going to go and what the predictions will be. I've had a look at the internet as well. We had a look at the live score for the news and see which teams are trying to rattle the other ones and which teams are trying to drum the drum and beat the drum. And it's been really interesting. Enjoyed it, especially Roy, our Mansfield supporter. Thank you very much. We're going to go down our results, predicted results for League One Week 17. So we start off with Bolton versus Blackpool, and this is a really, really tough game for me. It's a really good Bolton side in 11th place versus Blackpool, who did have that manager bounce, but then they just seem to have lost their way, and we're getting a lot of 2-1s, 3-1s, 2-0s, 1-0s, 3-1s, and I just can't get past the fact that everybody's saying the same thing. We've gone for we've played a little bit of a joker. We've gone for Bolton 3, Blackpool 1, but we've also said this could be a 1-1. So then we go to Shrewsbury versus Birmingham City, and Birmingham have their last two. They've only drawn 3 games, but 2 of them have been in the last couple of games. So in the last 3 or 4 games. So it's interesting. Shrewsbury in 24th versus Birmingham in 2nd should be a whitewash, shouldn't it? But a lot of people are saying Shrewsbury Town are actually starting to play decent football, and I know that some of their, from when we played them, Rotherham, their supporters are thinking, they've got a damn good defence, and of course we have Ainsworth beating the drum here and saying, we can do this. We're absolutely going to, don't think you're going to come down here and beat us, Birmingham. So they're really beating the drum, and this can help. He's really trying to get this bounce on the road, and can he do it? 1-1, 0-2. 1-3, 0-2, 1-2. I've gone with most of you and gone Shrewsbury Town 1, Birmingham 2. Don't be surprised if this is another draw. This could very well be another bracket there. 2-2 could be another scoreline for that one. Then we go Shrewsbury. We go Stevenage versus Orient, and the 15th versus 20th. Orient have actually been doing really well of late, and I don't think many people have seen exactly how well they've improved in the last few games. And I often get criticised about, you've not seen how well our teams suddenly started playing. Well, there are an awful lot of teams in the Championship and League One. Monitoring every single one is actually quite difficult. But on this case, we've found Leyton Orient just starting to get quite good. And Stevenage, from being really good, have started to get sort of average or sort of, they've fallen off a little bit. The cart seems to have dropped off, dropped a couple of wheels. So for that reason, we're going to Stevenage 1, Orient 2. We're going to go Barnsley in 5th versus Wigan in 19th. My Barnsley fan will be thinking that as long as they don't let one in the first 5 minutes, they'll be fine. Wigan, they have a good side and they can play good football. But Barnsley they have spells where they just draw and it's like, or they'll lose and it's totally out of the blue, and they've lost it in the first half, or they'll be ahead and they'll lose it in the last dying minutes. 2-0, 1-1, 3-1, 2-0, 1-0. I've gone Barnsley 3, Wigan 1, but I said 1-1 or a 2-2 might be on the cards. We have Burton versus Stockport County next. Burton in 23rd versus Stockport County in 4th. And a lot of people thinking it's going to be high scoring. 0-1, 2-2, 2-2, 1-1, 1-4. I think that Stockport are capable of scoring quite a lot of goals. Burton, on the other hand, have been playing some really damn good football, and I don't think them scoring 0 is quite a likely is not a likely outcome. So I'm going to play the Joker. I'm going to go Burton 2, Stockport 3, and don't be surprised if Burton get a draw here. Last week was full of draws, wasn't it? I can see this week being as well. Crawley Town versus Rotherham United, and Crawley Town are now playing some really good football in 45 minutes, but not in both halves. If they can play well in both halves, they will trounce the Rotherham side. They're not playing very well at all. But if they continue to play poor in in the first half and then really good in the second, I just don't see them being able to hang on against a side. Rotherham do have some class in there, and they can have moments of brilliance, but it's not very often. I just think I'm going to be totally biased, and I'm going to go with Crawley 0, Rotherham 1. You're like saying 2-2, 0-1, 1-0, 0-0, 0-1. You're obviously thinking one goal in this. Either way, one or both scoring, 1 or 0. Huddersfield Town versus Charlton. We'll quickly go to you lot. 3-1, 1-1, 2-1, 1-0, 2-0, and a 2-2. And I sort of think about this and I think, oh wow, this is going to be difficult, isn't it? Because we've got two sides that are absolutely on at each other. They really are. Charlton are technical. They can be technical, but they can just not turn up. Huddersfield have some damn good players in there. They have championship players, and they can and do play really good football. But occasionally they don't turn up either. If neither of them turn up, then we're in trouble. Charlton do tend to turn up a little bit more often of late than what Huddersfield do. Charlton have actually started to string together some really good results. But we are at Huddersfield, and I sort of gone against you really. I suppose I'm really playing a joker, because most of you are thinking that Huddersfield will scrape it, but I think a lot of you are thinking, yeah, but Charlton are really playing quite well, so don't write them off. Although you're saying, Huddersfield will win, a lot of you are saying, but Charlton have a damn good side, and they are actually the better. They've got the better form of the last 4 games. We've gone for Huddersfield 2, Charlton 0. Lincoln City versus Wycombe Wanderers, and Lincoln is 6th versus first place Wycombe Wanderers. 1-2, 2-2, 1-2, 2-1-2. 1-1. It's really quite difficult, and 2-1. So it's really difficult to see. It's really difficult to see who's going to win this one. I wrote that one the wrong way around. So we're going to go with Lincoln 1, Wycombe 2. I think Wycombe are... No, I don't know. You see, I'll stick with what I put in before. You see, it is all live onto the internet, live onto the video. Anyway, we're going to go with Lincoln 2, Wycombe 1. I'm going to stick with. I must have written it down that way for a reason. I'm going to keep it as I wrote it, because usually I would be saying Wycombe would just still scrape it in that, but I wrote it down that way for a reason. I'm going to stick with it. We're going to Mansfield Bristol Rovers next, and Mansfield Town are absolutely. I think they should have won that last game. Penalty for sure against Wrexham that wasn't allowed. Mansfield doing well, scoring well against apparently their bogey team, Bristol Rovers. Will they turn up? I think the Bristol will turn up here, and it's going to be a case of who scores most. What you're saying, 1-1, 2-0, 2-0, 3-2, 2-1. I'm going to go with somebody right in the middle of there. Royal Bristol, Bristol Mansfield fan said, it would be a very high scoring game. So we're going to go with him and say high scoring game. But I'm adding a couple of goals for Bristol Rovers, I'm afraid. I'm going to go with Mansfield 3, Bristol Rovers 2. Northampton, Cambridge, and a lot of people here thinking it's going to be low scoring, but there's 1 or 2 thinking there's going to be 3 or 4 goals in it. So Cambridge have been doing really well. Now they've just dropped off of late, whereas Northampton have been plodding along quite similarly. They haven't really got better. They haven't got worse. They're probably the most consistent side in the bottom half, to be quite honest. But Cambridge have shown that they can turn up and play some damn good football now. And they can throw a few wins together. So, what are you saying? 2-1, 2-1, 1-3, 1-1, 1-0, 0-0. I've gone Northampton 0, Cambridge 1. I got Peterborough versus Reading next. And Peterborough obviously capable of scoring loads and loads of goals. They have done in the past. And if you look at their scoring rate, it has been or can be really amazing. Reading, on the other hand, they have been turning up and playing some damn good football, but then they occasionally don't turn up, and it comes back in some of your scores. Predictions: 3-0, 2-1, 4-2, 2-1, 4-3. Makes it very, very difficult for me, but I'm going to go with Peterborough 4, Reading 0. But Reading can play and can score, but when Peterborough score, they tend to shut the door at the back. So let's see. Wrexham versus Exeter next, and Wrexham in 3rd versus Exeter in 9th. You can't write off Exeter, though. They've been playing some surprisingly good football, and they've been rocketing. They have been rocketing up the table. Wrexham have been bouncing along between that sort of top 3, 4, I think. So it's going to be a tight game, I think. I don't think it's going to be as much of a walkover as the Wrexham directors are seemingly advertising over this week. They're like, we're going to spend tens of hundreds of millions of pounds on players in January. So watch out, because we're just starting to play with it at the minute. We're just playing with the league. So if that's their attitude, good luck to them. But will it work? Well, it has for Birmingham, hasn't it? Wrexham versus Exeter then. What are you saying? 3-1, 1-1, 3-2, 2-0, 1-0. I'm going for Wrexham 2, Exeter 1. I think they'll just be too much for Exeter. But it could be a draw. Another one that could actually be a draw. This is John S's Sports Channel. Please do like and subscribe. I need lots more subscribers. I need you to start logging on to the lives, even if it's just to listen to the scores as they come in. Because that does help me continue to put out these videos, and of late it's been a little bit poor on the watching front. So please do come along and have a little look on a Saturday. We do try. We always try a 3 o'clock listen along, and we try to do the 12:30, but it's been a little bit sparse on people. So please do try and come and have a look. John S. Sports Channel. Please do like and subscribe. I'll see you on Saturday.